Good morning, friends. Happy Sunday. I'm getting ready for yoga over here, so I'll just chat with you while we wait for some people to get signed on. It's the dogs. They're being put away, so. Good morning, Dad. Good morning, Mom. Hi, Christine. I haven't forgotten about your running plan, but I also know that you have one more week till your race, so we've got time. Angeline, good morning. Anyone drinking their coffee too while they do yoga? I got mine. It's a National Park mug. Can't wait for those to open back up. Okay, while we're waiting for more people to come, Joanna, hi. Today, it would be advised for you to have a blanket or a pillow. We're gonna do some stuff from kneeling in a lunge. So you may want to have a blanket or a pillow to put underneath your knees, especially if you are working out on a hard, we're not working out today. This is yoga. If you're doing yoga on a hard surface, you definitely want one. So grab a blanket that you can fold over a couple times or throw a pillow from the couch. Just something you can have underneath your knees. Good morning, Jess. Hi, Joanna and Caroline. And that's about all I can really think of. It may be helpful for you to use, oh my gosh, I thought that was a cat. I don't even have a cat. A block like this or a hardback book like this would work well too. Something like this so that you can, when we're going to lift up in a few positions from that lunge, there's a chance that your hands might not reach the floor, and so this will help bring the floor up to you. Hi, Renza. Oh, Leah's there too. Okay, good morning. Hi, Aunt Emily or Uncle Larry. I don't know. Maybe both. Okay, we'll get started here in just a second. If you've got all of your props gathered, go ahead and find a comfortable seat. We're going to start in a seated position. So if you're ready to go ahead and start there. Kind of start to find your breath, and we will get started here in just a few. If you're still just joining, I'm so happy you're here. You'll want a blanket or a pillow for sure underneath your knees today, and possibly, if you have them, some yoga blocks or hardback books. So I was showing these are kind of similar in height to help you. We're going to lift up out of the lunge, a restful lunge a few times, and it might help you to have those close by to bring the floor up closer to you. So gather those things up. Good morning, Brad. Thank you for joining on the farm. And then we'll get started. What a crowd today, huh? Just picture yourself doing this with all your friends at your favorite gym or studio. I wasn't going to announce that you were late, but since you did, Brad's late, but he's here. All right. We'll go ahead and get started, and I'll just keep an eye on the newbies. So, Brad, do you get in trouble with your producers when you're late like that? All right. Start in a comfortable seated position. So again, if you have a chair that you want to sit on instead of the floor, you can do that. You can sit on the couch. Or my favorite comfortable seat is a crisscross on the floor. Oh, he was doing chores, it sounds like. Okay. Happy May. It's our first yoga class of May. Time's just trucking right along. Okay, find a comfortable seat, kind of come into your body, possibly for the first time this morning, possibly for the first time since last Sunday. I feel that we tend to kind of go through our lives without really checking in that often and something that I hope yoga can start to do with you is to help facilitate this trust between you and your body, and you can listen to it when it's telling you that it needs to move or it needs to have a day off, things like that. So just keep in mind that you don't always have to be in a yoga class to be doing body scans, seeing how you're feeling, and kind of coming into being in your body. So and then we'll take our hands to be palms up in your lap in this kind of open, receiving position. Be open to the possibilities this week and this month as we transition to a new month, but might feel like things aren't changing that much. So be open to the possibilities. We'll start to notice your breath. Don't change anything about it yet. Just feel where it goes, how it comes into your body, how it leaves your body. Pay attention to if it's allergy season here, so if it's tough to breathe in through your nose, pay attention to that and see if it clears up any as we move. Now start to take that breath in through the nose as deep as you can, and then sigh out of the mouth to let it go. Continue breathing this way for a few more rounds, and pay special attention today as we move through these postures and you're still taking these really deep breaths. I like to picture the inhales as you're filling up and expanding. They kind of help you get deeper into your stretch. And then as you exhale and you kind of sink back down into that space that you made with your breath, it helps you relax and release a little bit. So pay attention to that as we go through the different poses. And it probably will change as we go along. So notice already just by sitting here, as you start to deepen your breath, where do you kind of feel that expansion start to stretch? Is it in between your ribs? Do you get down into your hips? Maybe it's your upper back. Okay, take just a few more deep breaths, and if you would like to settle on a focus or an intention today, you can do that. You can pick your own, or you can go with mine, which is to be open and receptive to things that are coming your way. You can settle on it. So a word that I might choose for mine would be open-minded or accepting, receiving, any words like that. Or if there's something more specific that you need, you can pick it for yourself. Patience, maybe. Trust. Okay, we're going to start moving with the breath next. So reach your hands out to the sides. And on an inhale, really energize through the fingertips as you bring the arms up. You're opening up space in your torso for more air. Gather your hands together at the top, but don't touch. And then exhale, come down to your chest. Couple more deep breaths. This always happens to me. When I do deep breaths, I start to yawn. So hopefully some of you are in the same boat. Exhale, come down. Big inhale. And so we're really energizing through the arms. They are working to reach up. I feel the stretch through my shoulders and the front of my upper arms. And exhale, come down. One more time, big deep breath in, reach up. And exhale, pull that energy down to you. This time we'll reach up, big inhale, get tall, lift your ribs up off of your hips. Exhale the right hand down either to the edge of your seat if you're in a chair or to the floor, and reach up and over. Take your gaze just underneath that left arm up top to help you peel your shoulder back, and try to keep both sit bones in the mat so we're not leaning all the way over to the side. We're anchored down through our hips as we reach up and over with the left arm. Couple of deep breaths here. So this is what I'm talking about. When you take deep breaths in, see if you can deepen that stretch feeling with your breath without necessarily moving your body deeper into the stretch. Pay attention, and if anything gets uncomfortable or painful, you gotta come out of it. On your next inhale, we'll raise back up through center. Both hands reach up, and exhale to the opposite side. Left hand comes down to the mat, right arm reaches over. So good. And your gaze goes up underneath the right arm. Keep both sit bones down into the mat. And we'll inhale to come up one more time to each side. Big reach up. Exhale, right arm down. Left arm comes over. Take your gaze up under the arm. And we'll inhale to come back through center. Last time to the left. Exhale. Oh, yes. I love these side bend stretches. Couple deep breaths. And we'll inhale to come back through center. Exhale your hands back to your lap, palms up. Now we're going to take just a very exaggerated shaking the head no. So on your inhale, your gaze will come right back through like a center neutral position for your face will be forward. Maybe it's at me if you're facing the camera. If not, just gaze straight ahead, breath in. And then as you exhale, we're going to alternate looking over the right shoulder, just as far as your neck feels comfortable going. And then inhale, come back through center, and exhale over to the left shoulder. Try to think about keeping your shoulder blades relaxed down, shoulders down away from your ears. And that's why the hands in the lap can help with that. Inhale, come back through center. We'll go one more time to each side. Exhale to the right. Inhale, come through center, and exhale to the left. Inhale, come through center. We've got just a few more things to do while we're seated. So I'm going to suggest if you are crisscross, just switch which leg is in front. If you are in a chair and you're just seated regularly in a chair, you don't have to worry about this as much. But if you've got a crisscross going, go ahead and switch front legs. Okay. Next up, we're going to do a really wonderful stretch for the upper back. This is one of my favorites. It's called eagle arms. I'm not entirely sure why. If there are any theories that you have, I'd love to hear them after class. Just type them in the comments. So we'll take the right arm straight out in front of you first. Right arm. The left arm is going to come underneath the right. So they're kind of meeting right at the elbows. Fold your thumbs back towards your face. So this is level 1. The backs of your hands are together. If you can, and you want to try for level 2, you'll try to wrap your hands around for one more twist of the arms, and you might get your fingertips to the palms of the opposite hand. That just deepens the pull a little bit. So see if you can get here. If not, that's okay. Just backs of the hands together like this. And then everyone, no matter where your hands meet, press your elbows forward to kind of separate the shoulder blades a little bit. So that's where we're trying to feel the stretch, is between the shoulder blades. So separate or press the elbows forward, and then take your fingertips up just a tiny bit. Everyone will be different, but this is so intense for me, so find 3 deep breaths. But it feels so good. Shoulders are where I carry all my stress. For most people, it's either shoulders or your hips. So if you're in your shoulders, use your breath to help you get through this. One more round, big inhale and exhale. And then release the hands, roll them out. You'll have to let me know if you felt that and you like it. It's one of my favorites. And it's only half, so it's eagle arms. There are also eagle legs we can do, but we're not today. Take the left arm out in front. So we're switching sides now. The right arm comes underneath. Same thing here, bend at the elbows, backs of the hands together, or you can try to get one more loop to bring fingertips to palms. Press the elbows forward, reach the fingertips up. 3 deep breaths. After your next exhale, we'll release. Big shake out of the shoulders. And then take a deep breath in, reach the arms up again, nice and tall. Exhale, hands to your heart, then to your lap, and then just spider crawl your fingers as you fold over your legs. This one feels really good for the low back. And just fold over the legs as much as you're able. Take a few deep breaths. Let's see who's saying things. Oh, Joanna, I'm sorry about your internet. Take one more deep breath in that forward fold. And then just press into your hands to walk yourself back up to a seat. And we'll kick your feet around to come to a tabletop position. So this is where you may want to put the blanket or the pillow underneath your knees. We'll be alternating on one knee and then the other for a few rounds after this. So keep it close by in case it gets sore if you don't want to start with it. But if you want to start with a cushion underneath your knees, just spread the blanket or the pillow across underneath your knees just like this. Okay. My favorite pose to do in this position is cat and cow. So let's do that first with our breath. We'll inhale to drop your belly down and turn your tail up in the back if we're a cat or a dog. Or a cow, I guess. This is cow pose. So really let your belly hang down to get a small curve in your back. Your gaze is straight ahead. And then exhale. Curl your tail between your legs, let your head fall down and arch your spine up like an angry cat. And then we'll inhale to come back down through cow. And exhale to cat. Keep going this way, alternating. Feeling free to check in with your body again, and maybe you want to move side to side a little bit. You want to take the head in some circles. You don't have to stay completely linear through those cats and cows. You can also tuck your toes under in the back for a foot stretch. All right, on your next inhale, come to just a neutral spine. So we're not in cat or cow. We could rest. I think that. So this pose in Sanskrit is called Barmanasana. And one of the cues that they gave us to remember this is a barman could put a beer on your shoulder and a beer on your pelvis right here on your sacrum on the table. And so tabletop is Barmanasana. So find a flat enough back that you'd be able to rest 2 cans or pints of beer, one in between your shoulders and one on your low back. Fun little yoga tip for you today. Okay, onto the left foot. Take your left toes and tuck them under. Slide the left foot back as far as you can, and then rock in and out of the heel. So we're front to back. Just rocking out of that heel so that you can feel a stretch go up the calf. You can pause to hold the stretch if you like, or you can keep rocking in and out. The next time that you rock forward, pause there and listen closely. So the left foot is back. It's all the way straight, that leg. The right knee is still down. Take the right foot and spin it on the knee so it's facing over to the right. Then your body is going to slowly open up to the left. The left arm will reach up. So I'll show you that one more time. So we're here in kind of a half kneeling tabletop. The left foot is all the way back. The bottom of the right foot is spinning over to the right side of the mat. It will come off of the mat a little bit probably. Then you open your body up to the left side. Left arm comes up. Left leg stays extended unless you want a little more work. You can reach the left leg up. I'm going to keep it down today. This is gentle yoga. So things to think about here. Press your hips forward. Really squeeze the glutes together and peel the left shoulder back so you're nice and open through the chest. Take 3 deep breaths here. You're welcome to play around with the arm position on the left side. I don't have much room, so I wouldn't do that too much. Wonder how Joanna's doing. Joanna, will you message me if you are still here? Just type a little comment in. So take 3 deep breaths from that kind of half kneeling position. Brad, I need to know if Walter is a human or a horse. You're like using your neighbor's pasture, or are you doing horse yoga today? Okay, on your next exhale, come back down to face the mat. So now the right foot pivots back to the back of the mat. The left foot's still extended, but you can bring it underneath you. And we'll take a few rounds of cat and cow. Hope that worked for everybody. We're going to do it again, but on the other side. So reset with a few rounds of cat and cow. I'll walk us through it again. We'll take the right foot now, tuck the toes under, slide the right foot back as far as you can. May or may not be off the mat, just depends where you are. And then rock back and forth into the heel. Good job. You can pause in the back if you want to hold the stretch, or if you prefer to rock, you can just keep rocking. Okay, the next time that you come back through neutral, so send your hips back over the left leg, kind of tap the left foot on the floor a few times so you know which one is moving. Then spin it to the left, and we open up to face the right. So I'm on the left hand, the left knee, and the right foot is extended to the end of the mat. Right arm is reaching up. Press the hips forward and hold this for a few breaths. Let me see how it's going. Oh, good. Here. Can't wait to see pictures of Walter doing yoga. Good. 2 more full deep breaths. Really think about peeling that right shoulder back, open through the chest. Feels so good. Press your hips forward by squeezing your glutes. And then on your next exhale, you can rotate back down to a tabletop. Bring your toes together. take your knees apart for child's pose. So toes are together, knees are apart, hips come back down towards the heels. Your chest falls down between your legs and your arms are just reaching overhead. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Bring your focus back to your word of your day. So if you're with me, you're breathing in and you're thinking openness and acceptance. And having these continual checkpoints just kind of helps you break up that pattern of going back to worrisome or tasky thoughts. So come back onto your mat, come back to the present moment. And then we'll inhale to come back up to tabletop. Bring the knees back underneath your hips. We're going to come to downward facing dog next, but I would suggest or recommend that you keep your blanket and your pillow close by because we're going to be back to the kneeling here in just a second. So don't toss it totally aside. So take a deep breath in. Tuck your toes in the back. On your exhale, press into your fingertips, not your palms, and lift your hips up to send your chest towards your thighs. Reach your heels down to the mat in the back. And one other quick cue. So if you're not engaging in your arms very much, you kind of come like a turtle and your shoulders creep up by your head. So really press into your arms to help send your shoulders away from your ears. There's a lot happening in downward facing dog, so if you don't have the mental capacity for that today, that's okay. But as we continue to practice this pose, that's one additional thing you can think about for downward facing dog. So press into the hands, it'll send your shoulders down your back, away from your ears. We're going to start on the left side. Take a deep breath in, reach the left foot up behind you. Just as high as you can, doesn't have to be pointing to the sky. Deep breath in. On your exhale, we're stepping the left foot forward towards the hands. If it gets caught on the mat, like mine, grab it with the left hand and pull it forward. So we're in a lunge stance here, okay? But this is gentle yoga. So take your right knee down to the mat in the back and untuck your toes. And now it's a gentle lunge. So this is where that pillow or blanket may be good underneath your knee. This is also where if you have a block or a book, you can use it on either side of that front foot to help you lift up off of the leg a little bit. If you don't have one, that's okay. You can use your fingertips. But what we're trying to avoid is like a curving down of the spine. So use your back muscles to lift, your posture muscles. Lift your chest, take your gaze straight ahead, and then you can support yourself with your fingertips or that block like this. Okay, couple deep breaths here. And this stretch is, again, different for everybody. Some people feel a lot in the hips through here, runners, people who sit for work, or you might not feel anything. So whichever camp you're in, just stay with your breath. We're going to take the left hand now. It's outside of the left foot. We're going to bring it to the inside of the left foot. So you've got left foot, left hand, right hand in order on the mat. And this may intensify a little bit. Take a couple of deep breaths. Trying to keep your spine straight. And again, blocks here. If the floor feels too far away, just prop up on your blocks or your books. We always say in yoga, you gotta put the ego aside. So if your ego is trying to keep you on pace with me, you gotta tell it that that's not a good place for you to be if you're in pain, and that it's okay to use props to help you with that. All right, one more deep breath here. Then the right hand will stay on the mat. The left hand's going to come to the left knee. And you're trying to spin your chest open all the way to the left. So you can use the hand to help kind of twist you deeper into that, or you can reach the arm up for a twist this way. All right? Maybe a lot happening in this back hip, or you might feel it more in your upper back. 2 deep breaths. On your next exhale, bring the left hand back down, this time to the outside of the left foot. Walk your hands back towards the back of the mat. Keep the left foot where it is, but your hips are shifting back over the right knee. The left toes can come up, and we're bent over the left knee now. Lots of stretch happening up the back side of the left leg. So this is where if you don't have a cushion under that right leg, you might be feeling it a little bit in the knee. Couple deep breaths. Maybe wiggle your toes some. Try to get those yoga toes by separating them from one another. Last big exhale. And then on your inhale, we're walking it back forward into our lunge here. We're going to come up into that full lunge for just a second. Tuck the right toes in the back. Lift the knee up off the mat. And now press into your toes to come forward into a forward fold here. Very good. Grab opposite elbows. Kind of sway side to side. A few times. Let your head be heavy. And I want to remind, we worked on this last week, but to keep your back safe when you come up from this position, first inhale to lift your chest so that you come to a straight back here, and then press your hips forward almost like a deadlift from workouts, and then you're up. So we're trying, it's okay every now and then to kind of slow roll up, but we're trying to avoid coming up with a curved spine. So go ahead and come up to a standing position, and I'll just kind of cue that to remind you as we go. All right, how's everybody doing? Looks okay. Okay, that was one side. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms up. Feels so good to stand, and exhale, fold forward, send your hips back. Notice any difference between your two legs since we haven't done both sides yet. Inhale to halfway lift. So here we are practicing that straight spine. So you're lifted, all those posture muscles. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands flat on the ground. Step the right foot back, followed by the left. You can come to your knees or you can stay on your toes, but lower your chest and your hips down together all the way. And inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold back down, press to your knees, and then come back to a child's pose. Take a little rest, a good time to check in before we do the opposite side. Throwing some new stuff at you guys today. You're doing awesome at being open to it. The more that we do it, it will become familiar. Okay, let's inhale to come back up to a tabletop. Tuck your toes in the back. We're going to exhale to downward facing dog. Press into those hands to send your chest to your knees. You can bend your knees as much as you need to, so there's no rule that says they have to be straight and your heels have to touch. We'd rather have those hips high because you can bend your knees than to have straight knees and heels on the ground. All right, we're switching to the other side. So when you're ready, on a breath in, reach the right foot up. And exhale to step forward. Remember, if you get stuck, just let it tap. Grab it with the hand to bring it up. And then we come down onto the left knee in the back. And we're here in our gentle lunge. So I'm gonna face the front so you can see what my hands are doing this time. So right knee's forward. Right now I've got one hand on either side, maybe on a block to help keep my chest lifted. So we don't want to round too much in the spine. Lift through the chest. Very good. Couple of deep breaths. I wish I could see all of your faces. Okay, we're going to take it one step deeper. So bring the right hand, the hand that's outside of the foot, to the inside. So now we've got foot, right hand, left hand. Keep the chest lifted, press into your hands. I feel this a lot more on this side than on that first side, on both the front of the left leg and the back of the right. Just is what it is. Deep breaths. Paying attention to how that breath changes what you're feeling. Okay, the left hand's gonna stay on the ground. The right hand will come up to the knee to help you press into your twist, or the arm can reach up to help you as well. And you don't have to match what you did on the other side. One more deep breath in. And on your exhale, bring the right hand back down to the outside of the foot. So we're framing the foot now. And we'll slowly press the hips back over the left knee. Rock up onto the heel. If you want to, you don't have to. And we're folded forward over the right leg. Separate the toes a little bit. And take a few deep breaths. Good, one more. And we'll inhale to come forward. When you're ready, no rush, you don't have to stay with me. Tuck the left toes in the back to lift the knee up. We're back in that full lunge. We're pressing off the left toes to come into our forward fold. It takes you a couple steps to get here, that's okay. And release into the fold. So remember, in your fold, we're not just resting here, you're pressing into both feet to lift through your hips a little bit more. Your knees don't have to be straight. And then just kind of walk your hands side to side. Very good. Okay, let's practice that coming up with a straight back. So inhale, lift the chest first, almost like a halfway lift, and then we press the hips forward. Very good. I have a special treat for you today. We've done it before. I'm not sure that everyone here has done it before. But in the spirit of being open and accepting whatever's coming your way, we have a balance pose that's just a teeny bit harder than tree. Still not the hardest balance pose there is. Brad likes to remind me that this is a gentle class. So I think that you will think Warrior 3 is still gentle, but you'll have to let me know after. Maybe we've done it. I can't remember. I feel like Brad has asked me about a warrior at some point, but I love this pose. I think it feels really wonderful. And it's challenging for balance purposes. So one thing for that, if you do have your books or your blocks, set them, so if you're at the top of your mat, set them just a little bit in front of you, like that. And that can help here in a minute. So we'll start with the left foot down on the mat. Come onto the right toes. We're going to inhale the right knee up. And this can be progressive. So if you get to here and you feel like this is as hard as you want it to be, you stop right here. All right, this is your practice. I'm just the suggester of things. From here, we're going to bring the chest down while we take the leg back. I'll show you from two angles, this one first. So deep breath in, And then exhale to bring the chest down as you kick the leg back so that you're making kind of a capital T shape with your body. So here's what it looks like from the side. Right knee's up, chest is coming down as the leg goes back. And something to think about here, the right hip or the hip of the leg that's floating in the back tends to kind of want to open up. Do your best to press into the left foot and then use that right hip to twist it back down to face the ground. So it can help to rest your hands on your hips and then try to move your right hip so that your right hand moves closer to the ground. So just twist it down, and that will really intensify what you're feeling on the left glute, but we want to be as square as possible. Here's how the blocks come in handy. You can fingertip press into them for a little bit of balance. You can also use a wall for this. Okay, how are we doing? We've been hanging out here for a little bit while I've been chatting. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. Really lift that right leg up as high as you can. Keep the chest lifted. Warrior 3. And on your next exhale, bring the foot down and lift the chest up. Very good. Not terrible, right? I'm assuming you did wonderfully. So we'll stand on the right foot. I definitely think it's harder than tree, but it's kind of a fun one to play with. We'll inhale the left foot up this time. Same thing on this side. I have a little theory, and you'll have to tell me if you agree. My theory is that the dominant side leg does not balance as well. When you're standing on your dominant leg, you have a harder time balancing than when you're standing on your non-dominant leg. It's my theory. I'd love to know if it applies to you as well. Here we go. Deep breath in and exhale. So as I say that, I'm anticipating this side being tougher for me. Right-handed, standing on our right foot. Bring your hands to your hips. Rotate that left hip and left hand down just a little bit so you really fire up your right side glute. Hands can come to blocks or they can stay on your hips. Keep the chest lifted. Couple of deep breaths. I'm not getting any sassy comments, so it must be going okay. 2 more. On your next exhale, bring the left foot down and slowly come back up. Very good. Take a couple of big shoulder rolls. You did it. You did what I think will be the hardest posture of the day. All right. If you're not at the top of your mat, let's come back there. We're going to head back down to the ground with one more little vinyasa series. So take a deep breath in, reach up, last big standing stretch. Exhale, forward fold, last time, really savor it. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Bend your knees, press your hands into the mat. Left foot steps back first. Little lunge here, followed by the right. Take a deep breath in from your knees or your toes. Just try to bring your hips and your chest down together all the way to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest, just a tiny amount. And exhale, press back. Last downward facing dog if you want it, or you can come straight to your child's pose. Take a quick breather in child's pose. Check in and see how it's going. How did your body like that warrior 3? How did your mind like that warrior 3? Did you accept the challenge with a playful attitude, or were you cranky about it? Which is okay. Sometimes I get cranky when stuff is hard in class. Take one more deep breath in your child's pose. And we're going to rotate around to come to our backs. So grab behind the thighs to help you roll to your backs. We've got one more working pose before we go into some deeper stretches. So bear with me. It's a good one. It's not too hard. Bring the bottoms of your feet flat to the mat. Your knees are up. Hands are right alongside your hips. We're going to do 2 sets of bridges here. So this bridge is considered a safe and accessible back bend. So that's what we will do today rather than going for something wild like wheel or camel. This feels safe for all of us. So press into your feet, take a deep breath in and press into your feet to lift your hips up first, then your low back, then onto your shoulders. Use your arms, if you can, to press in as well and help give you a little extra height. One deep breath here, in and out. Lower back down as you breathe out. Hug the knees into the chest and rock side to side. So that's our bridge. We're going to go one more time and hold it a little bit longer. Kind of massage your low back into the mat some here. When you're ready, bring your feet back down. Hands right alongside you. Take a deep breath in. Think about pressing into the whole foot. So I'm not pressing into the balls or the toes of my feet or the heels. The whole foot's pressing down, and that keeps all of the muscles up the leg activated. Deep breath in, press up. I'm not trying to isolate any today. Use your arms to help give that little extra lift here. Take a couple deep breaths. You can come out of this anytime if it gets hard or uncomfortable, but I want you to try to hold for 3 deep breaths. Keep the hips lifting. One more. And then very slowly lower down. Nice job. Hug those knees in one more time. If you'd like to take a happy baby here, you can. Arms inside the knees for the outsides of the feet. Rock side to side. Kick into your hands just as much as you're pulling down. And then we'll bring the legs long to the ends of the mat. This is one of our last stretch series. It's called, the Sanskrit name for this is Bananasana. I'm not teasing, and we're just gonna make a banana shape with our bodies. It's one of my very favorite to do on our back. But first, we'll connect movement to breath one more time. So on your inhale, do a giant good morning stretch. So you're reaching your hands overhead as much as you can. You're reaching your feet to the end of the mat as much as you can. And on your exhale, just let everything relax down to the ground. So big inhale, reach nice and long, big stretch of everything. And then as you breathe out, let everything rest and relax to the ground. I don't have enough room here, but keep going. Let's go 2 more times. Big inhale, reach, nice full body stretch. And exhale, relax. One more time. Big inhale. And exhale, release. All right. You stay where you are. I'm going to stand up and face you so you get a better view of what the stretch will look like. This is the banana pose, Bananasana. Stay on your backs. Pretend that you're looking at me like from an overhead view. So I'm laying on my back. Take your feet wide so they come off of each side of your mat. And then take your arms wide as well. So we're in a big X shape. We're going to leave the left hand and the left foot where they are. The right arm is going to reach over towards the left. You can kind of grab the right wrist with the left hand to help hold you there. So I'm still flat. Both my shoulders would be flat on the ground. I'm just swinging that right arm over towards the left. I'm gonna do the same thing with my right foot and slide it over to the left. And now I'm making this little banana shape. So both hips are still flat to the ground. Both shoulders are flat to the ground. You're just making a little kind of crescent moon or banana shape with your body. So once you get there, there's two things you can do to add on to this stretch. Take the left fingertips and wrap them around the right wrist and just gently pull to get a little more stretch out of the shoulders. For a little more stretch in the hips, take the right foot and cross it over the left, and that can help anchor down and provide a little more stretch for the hips on that side. Close your eyes, start to calm your body down, and take 3 deep breaths. At your own pace. Starting to wind down here. Once you finish your 3rd exhale, we'll come back through the center. So just release the arms, come back to that big X shape. So feet are on the outsides of the mat, hands are reaching outsides of the mat. And we'll do the good morning stretch again, but stay in this kind of X or star shape. So big inhale, reach through the ends of your fingertips and your toes, and then exhale, let everything relax. 2 more times. Big inhale, reach up and reach down with your feet, and exhale, relax. 1 more time, big, full good morning stretch before we switch sides. And exhale, release. Okay, we're going to the opposite side this time. So the left arm will slide over your head, grab onto the left wrist with the right fingertips, little pull, and then the left foot slides over to meet the right. You've got a tiny bend through your hips to make that banana shape. To the opposite side, trying to keep both shoulders down on the mat, both hips down on the mat, so you're not rolled onto your side at all. Couple deep breaths here. Coming back to that awareness of how your big inhales change what you're feeling. It should maybe deepen the stretch down the left side ribs. 1 more deep breath. Okay, on your next inhale, release, come back to that big X shape. 1 more time, just a giant full body stretch. Try to bring all of your muscles to the party, wake them all up, and then exhale, let them all rest. From this position, find the pose you want to take your final resting pose in. So you can stay here in this nice open star shape, or you can come to a more traditional savasana. I'm going to walk us through a little meditation, and then I'll sign off. So get as comfortable as you can. If you can be 10% more comfy, do that. The goal here is to be as relaxed as possible. Focus on your breath for 3 to 4 more rounds of that big deep inhale and long slow exhale, and use that to help you get nice and relaxed. Let your body release tension with every breath out. And then I've been on a little 5 senses meditation kick, so we're going to stay there today. You can pick this present moment to really focus and hone in your 5 senses on. You can pick a favorite place that you love, like an actual landscape, or an event that was canceled that maybe you wish was happening. So think of some things, a very specific place that you can be. And we're going to walk through a grounding meditation to help you be in that place. So close your eyes if you haven't already. And find 5 things that you see in this place. Just run through a quick little list. 5 things you see around you. Move on to another sense. Think of 4 things that you can feel, physically feel or touch. So maybe it's something on your skin. What do you feel underneath your feet? What do you feel in your hair? Those kinds of things. 4 things that you can physically feel on your body. Or in your body. You could feel it coming from within you. Heartbeat, things like that. Number 3, and switching senses, find 3 things that you can hear. And again, this can be in the very present moment on your mat, or it can be an imaginary place that you wish you had been able to go or were going to. After 3 things you can hear, we'll go on to 2 things you can smell, and try to really feel that smell happening as you breathe in through your nose. And we'll end with the last sense, probably the hardest one, but one thing that you can taste. And we'll take a moment to kind of weave the sight, sound, feeling, taste, and smell all together. All 9, 12, all 15 of those senses, and weave them together for one complete landscape. Now bring your focus back to your breath. Big inhales through the nose. Fill up as much as you can. Slow exhales out of the mouth. Start to slowly bring some awareness and movement back to your extremities, your fingers and your toes. Feel the ground underneath you coming back into this very present moment. Take a couple more breaths to come back to whatever your intention was for class. Breathe it in and fill up with it. Stay here as long as you're able today. Enjoy some quiet space that you've made. Thank you so much for being here. I love spending my Sundays with you. I'll see you next week for Mother's Day. So invite your moms to come. You can do yoga with them, but apart. So thank you so much for being here. I'll see you guys later.